Grow a pair of balls. That's a message I would drill into my younger self, and I want to make this video in case this message is helpful for you as well. So basically, like ever since I was very young, I was someone that just wanted to avoid human interaction at all costs. For example, if I go into a McDonald's, you can either order food at the counter or you can order food on one of those screens where you don't have to talk to like the person at the counter, and I would always go there. Even if there was a massive line like on the people with like, the screens and no one at the counter, I would literally wait for people to, make their order on the online machine just so I could avoid human interaction. And it extended into other things in my life. Like I never wanted to answer phone calls because, I didn't want people to hear my voice. I didn't want to talk to people. I'd prefer to just like message or like text instead, or get my parents to like speak to them. And other examples as well. Like I remember like back in like high school, I asked like a girl out to formal, and my plan was to do it in person, but last second I like bitched out and I just ended up like texting her instead. So obviously, that's not great at all. But it did teach me a powerful lesson, which is ultimately like in order to get the things that I wanted in life, I needed to be comfortable with having that conversation. Sometimes it's not even a challenging conversation, it's just having a conversation with someone. And I've realized that just being able to speak to more people, it has opened like so many more like doors over the last few years. Like I'm not just talking about like relationships, I'm talking about like work or just general like happiness. The ability just to, speak to people and not just like, be like an absolute bitch and just avoid like human interaction at all costs. That has been like the key to like a lot of my successes. And I'm not saying this like, oh, I'm so successful, because I'm not. There's still like so many areas I still have to learn. But when I think about all the like tiny successes I've had and all the failures, the common theme is that with the failures is oftentimes that I'm not talking to someone. I don't have the courage to have this uncomfortable conversation, and just not having that conversation or not like talking to people because you don't have the courage to, that for me has led to a lot of disappointment, frustration, heartbreak, for example, and it's something I honestly want you to avoid. So what I really learned is that it's so important just to like take that leap of faith. And just to give you some more like practical examples, like a few years later, next time I found this girl that I liked, I asked her out in person. And I was like, I'm not going to make the same mistakes again. I'm going to do it in person this time. I got rejected, but that's besides the point. Anyways, so the overall reason why I'm kind of sharing all these like stories is that ultimately for my younger self, he just needed to grow a pair of balls. Like the outcome is not something you can control, but you can control the input. So if you're watching this video right now and you have more than one balls, then look, just shoot your shot, man. I know it's like sometimes scary thing to do, and it's not always going to lead to the best outcome. But if you don't, the regret of not taking that like courageous step is always going to haunt you. And so this is something that I want to keep at the forefront of my mind, something that I really wish my younger self knew. And so I just want to share this in case it's helpful for you. So the final thing I'll leave you with is, again, if you're watching this and you have that uncomfortable decision or uncomfortable conversation that you have to make, like it's hard. I get it. I've been through so many of like these common situations, and obviously it's different for everyone. So you might be going through something completely different. But I guess the common thread that I see is that if you have this uncomfortable like thing that you have to like do or you have to say to someone, just know that in like a few days and at most a few weeks or a few months, it's not going to matter at all. So just shoot your shot and you'll do great.